Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to cover everything about CSS, how you can add in your web pages and what are the different types of properties. So I cover in this topic like how you can add styling, background, color, margin padding, how you can make a custom font, how to import Google font in your web pages, and how to add a style sheet in your form so your form look much better than previous one. And I will cover how you can add custom colors, how you can pick the custom colors in your pages and add in your pages. After that, I cover all the CSS reference. What are the different types of CSS reference like position, margin, padding, display, everything like responsive media query design. All things I cover in this topic. Apart from this, I will show you how you can customize the table. So let's get started and work on this tutorial and let's see how I can do all these things. And also if you like the video, please do like, and if you have any question, please do comment. So first I am just doing what? I am just copying my previous folder which is HTML, copy it and creating a new folder with HTML plus CSS. HTML plus CSS and pasting the old code. Now open this folder in VS Code. So opening the folder in VS Code, open folder, selecting the folder. Now our folder is open and the file is open. So let's see what you can do with CSS. So what I am going to do, I am just creating a simple file for CSS. Intro, CSS about .text file. So what is CSS? So CSS is basically a cascading style sheet which we can use to add designing on our web pages like margin, padding, border, width, height, background, position. So such things you can use with CSS. So you can use syntax is CSS like this way. Let me show you syntax. Syntax. And what comes first? First comes selector for selecting the element. Then property, then value, then again property, value. So this simple. First selector. Let me add selector for selecting the element. HTML element property like height, width, background. PC. So these are all the properties. Then values. Value are like 100 pixel width, red for background, and 100 pixel for height. So this time these kinds of all the things are values for the different types of CSS properties. So it is very simple. First you need to add selector, then property 1 value, then property 2 value. Let me add property 1 value 1, property 2 and value 2. So in this way you can add CSS in your web pages. Now let's see how you can link CSS with web pages. So there are three types of way to add CSS in your web pages. Let me add it. Different types of way for adding CSS in web pages. First one is inline, then internal, then three external. I will show the example when I'm working with pages, but now I just give you the definition how you can add it. Also, I'm giving an example also here for the CSS selector. Suppose that I want to add selector P and adding background red. So what it will do? It will select all the P tag and change its background color to red. Now let's see some practical example so you understand better way. So what I'm going to do, I'm creating a new file for our practical. So CSS part 1 dot HTML, changing the template to HTML, save it. Now first let's copy the basic HTML things. So what I'm doing, I just copy the things from this page, copy it, paste it here, and let's close it also. Now I'm changing the title, my first web page with HTML plus CSS, save it. So here what I will do, first let me show the example for the inline, how you can add inline. So I recommend don't try to use inline when there is a difficulty or in the situation you need to use inline tag, then you can use, otherwise try to use internal or external way to adding CSS in your web pages so it look beautiful and you can manage the things easily. But for some situation you have to work with the inline tag or inline style. So let me show the example how you can add it. So suppose that there is a p tag and you want to add the inline tag. So here what I will do, I will create one more paragraph tag. I am p tag with some CSS property applied inline. So what I will do, first you need to pass attribute style, then after typing style, here all the suggestion it will show on VS Code according to your installation. Here I install the some snippet like CSS emit. You can install the emit or CSS snippet, so it will show all the suggestion like this. If you check my extension here you can install first emit, which is a popular extension. You can see this extension. I install it, so it will show all the suggestion and work easily. And after that you need to install CSS snippet also. CSS, you can see HTML CSS support. So in this way, and you can see you also there's two extension which I install. I will share the link in the description. You can just install it. You can just install the extension so you can work with fast way. And if you don't know about the property, it will show the suggestion. And also if sometime it is not highlighting the suggestion, you can try to press Ctrl plus space when after installing the extension. So here I am pressing Ctrl plus space and it will show all the suggestion. You can understand. Now let's suppose that I want to add this a background color. So background color red. Save it. Now let's run this file in browser. So back to File Explorer and click on this file. And you can see our page is working. But here you can see a background color red with black text. It is applied using CSS. So that is the way for adding CSS using inline way. Style equal to property, then value. Now let's see internal way, how you can use the internal style. So I want to add internal style. So for this you need to add style, close the style tag, and also remember that when you're working with internal, it must go inside the head tag with the starting with style tag and inside that you can add your CSS properties. So first you need to add selector. So selector I will go through later what about the selector, what are the different way of selector. But suppose for now I am just using a one type of selector which is element selector. So what I will do, I will select all the p tag and changing its value. So p, then changing the style. So what I will do, I will change all the p tag background color to orange. Save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see all that p tag goes to orange. But here if you see, it can't go to red. So what actually happened in CSS, first it will apply the inline CSS, then it will apply the internal CSS, later part it will apply the external CSS. So suppose that when you applied a element CSS, let me show you. So it will first give the priority to inline, second internal, third external. So suppose that any element which you applied inline CSS and you apply the internal CSS and you apply the external CSS. So first it will take the inline CSS applied, and suppose that you apply only two styles, internal or external. So it will take only the internal, not the external. So internal will override the external CSS. That is the priority for applying the CSS. And I give the example also here. You can see all the p tag is in orange, which is applied with internal, but the inline CSS take the priority 1, so it will apply the inline CSS more, not like orange. So it will apply the inline CSS first, not internal CSS in this condition for the p tag. Now save it. Now let's see some next example, which is how you can add external CSS. So what I will do, I will first create a folder for CSS and creating a CSS file, style.css. Now how you can link this file with our HTML page. So for this you need to add first link, then rel equal to style sheet, then href equal to css style.css. Just pass the path, save it. Now let's add some CSS. So again, if I try to add p and try to add any property, background color equal to pink, if you see in Chrome, it will not apply because first our thing which is applied is internal or already. You can see I already applied the orange, so the pink will override in internal CSS. Here first it will apply the pink, but here this code will override the old color. Pink is get overridden by this orange color. Let me show you one more way. If you open this inspect, and here if you see any p tag, let me show you. If you first see, it will apply the pink here from style.css, but what actually happened, our orange color get applied first from the internal CSS. If you click on this file, it will show it is applied from this style. So what actually happened, it is get overridden by the pink is get overridden by the orange tag, orange color. Pink is get overridden by the orange color from the internal CSS. So that is the CSS priority. Same with here. You see here, first it will apply pink, but pink is applied by orange. Pink is override by orange, then orange is override by red. So that is the property or the level where it is get assigned. Now after this, let me show you some the basics CSS selector. What are the different types of CSS selectors? Here I just show you a p tag selector, but what are the different types of selectors? So let me show you. Different types of selectors. Also let me add one thing, comment here, internal CSS example, external CSS example, And here this one is inline CSS example. Save it and come into the text file. So here what I'm going to write, all the different types of selector. So first I am giving the ID selector. So ID selector we start with hash. Let me define it. ID selector start with hash. Let me show the example. Example hash ABC, then property 1, value 1, where ABC is ID of any element like div ID equal to ABC. Let me show one more example, some other example, which is class selector. Class selector start with dot 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 ABC property and value class equal to ABC. So that is the example for the class selector. Now let's see the example for parent child selector. Parent child selector. So let's see parent child selector, parent child selector, parent child selector. So in that case, it is a combination of multiple element. So let me see. Combination of multiple selector like here dot abc dot def. So what actually it will do? Let me show abc dot def. So what it will do? Let me show you. Where abc is parent and def is child element class. So here suppose that there is a deep class with abc, and inside this there are multiple div class with def. All this def. So this is the parent element and def is the child element. So it will apply the design to all the child element. Apart from this, let's see the one more example. I will show you practical example more so you understand better. But I'm just written it, copy it, paste it, tag element selector. So here you just need to pass tag name. P, B, P, D, this kinds of tag you can pass and apply the CSS. So div is a element like div tag. So it will apply the element to this style. So it will apply the CSS to this element. Now let's see some practical example, and I will show more example in practical, but I have just written this 4 example here. So now back to coding part and closing all this file and creating a new file. This is part 2 selector.html. So first changing the file type to HTML, and what I will do first, I will add the simple body. So just copy this, paste it. My first, my second web page with HTML plus CSS for selector example. Now let's add CSS. So first I will add the CSS. So ring rel equal to style set, then href equal to style dot css or style, okay, css comma style dot css or css style selector dot css. Let's create this file style selector dot css. Copy the file name, open this folder, create new file, enter, save this file, creating a body. Now here giving a p tag, the example of element selector, or instead of p let's use div, save it. So what I will do for all the div, I'm changing the background color to orange, save it, save this file and open file explorer and run this file, and you can see the file is running and you can see the element which is showing the background color orange. So in that way you can apply the style sheets for the element by selecting the only element selector. Let me add the comment element selector. Now let me show the some other example. So p id equal to my id selector. I am id selector element. Let's copy it multiple times, save it, and let's apply this style by id selector. So first start with hash, then pass the id, then pass the property. So here I am adding color to red, save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see all the p tag with IDs, my ID selector, it is getting red. Now let's see some other example. So yeah, what I'm going to create, I am creating another example for class selector. So my class selector example for class selector p tag, copy it, paste it multiple times, save it, and here adding dot, or first add comment class selector, then dot, paste the class name and changing the color. So color equal to green yellow or green, save it, refresh page, and you can see the id selector, this is class selector, and this is element selector. But now let's see the example for the parent child selector. Suppose that there is a UL tag and there is a list of items. So like mango, guava, orange, and you want to apply CSS. So what you can do? So there are two ways. You can use the first selector. So you can use first parent selector, then child selector, or you can also assign the class and select the element. But I will do one more better way. I am adding the fruit class. So what I will do? Let me show the example. Now this time I am using the tag with class selector. So tag with class selector for parent child selector. So I am making it a little bit complex so I understand better what are the different types of selectors. So first what you need to do, first you need to add UL, which is tag, as I mentioned tag. Then you need to add the class. So dot, then paste the class name for the fruit class. Then after that add a space for child class or child selector. So what I will do, here are child li. So what I can do, I select all the li. So I just passing li. Now if I add like background color equal to blue, save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see all the style sheets applied to the list item. And you can also add padding 10 pixel, save it, and you can see the padding is showing. You can also add margin 10 pixel, save it. You can see it is looking better. If you click on inspect, so let me show the what is the difference between margin and padding. You can see here I apply margin and padding. So what actually do? So padding will take from the inner part. If you see the element is highlighting the inside, from inside it is taking the padding. Let me show you here in computed. If you see margin, it is applied the outside, the orange area, and if you see the padding, it is applied from the inside area. So there is a difference between also margin and padding. You can apply margin to outside and padding to inside. And here is the text content. You can see this computed tab. You can understand the where is margin, where is padding, and where is border applied to the any element. So this is example for the tag with class and the child selector. And if I create a new element, let me show you. Copy it, paste it, and I can which class. Try to save it, refresh page, but you can see this is not applied to this way because I just select this element with class fruit class. You can see I select the fruit class here. That's why it's applied to only this one, not this one. Here class is different. Now let's see some other example. So these are common. So these are common selectors which we can use and work with it. But there are also some different and complex structure and also other things you can do. But right now I just give this simple example. So you can start and try to complete it. And also let me show one more thing. If I try to add one more thing here, class third selector. Let copy it, paste it, copy it, parent child selector, second level. So what I can do, li, then space, dot, or instead of here, just remove it, and here add a p tag. So I can show you a more depth example for the child. Here p is in third level or second level. You can, according to li it is second level, according to ul it is third level. Save it. So what I will do, I will add p, and this time changing the p tag to background color. yellow. Save it, refresh page. You can see the guava is changed to yellow. So it is a third level style sheet which I applied, which means you can see this P is from third level from the UL and second level from the LI. So here you first UL is the parent, then L is the child, and P is another child. You can see, and it is showing the structure UL LI P, which is going to applied 013. So that is a way to applying style sheets to the web pages. Now let's see some other example. What are the different types of way how you can add properties, and what are the different types of property which you applied in your web pages. So let me show you. So close these files. So I will do it in a practical way. So just I am going to the my second file, body page, and let's run this file. This second body.html, and you can see this is showing the paragraph tag, the image things, all the things is okay. But I want to change this text font, so you can use the custom font also. So let me show you how you can add. Let me show you how you can add a custom font in your pages. So what I'm going to do, I'm just using this simple Google font here. So just visit to the site fonts.google.com, and here are the different types of fonts which we can use in your web pages. Click on fonts, and here are all the fonts. So suppose that I want to use any font in your pages, you can use it from here. Let me show you. I want to use this font or use this font. So how you can do it, just select the font and click on any font style. So what I will do, I will select this, and if you click on it, you can see it is showing the all things. Here it is showing all the style sheet or all the fonts which you have selected. I remove the old one. I just select play fair. You can see the font name play fair. I select this font, and it will show the styles how you can implement in your pages. So first you need to add the link. So copy this link and back to your page. Let me change the type HTML, adding custom font in web pages. Paste it. Let me correct it. So correct this and correct this. Now save it. After the first step, second step is to, this one is both the same. You can use this way or either this way. So I am using the first way. And I need to apply the CSS. So just copy it. So how you can apply this? So I'm just adding class equal to custom font, and here using this inline internal CSS applying custom font. So style tag, then let me show you. First you need to pass the selector. So our selector is p dot custom font, and paste it. So in that way, first element, then class, and passing the font family, and passing the property value font flare display serif. Save it, back to browser, refresh page, and we can see the custom font is applied to our paragraph text. If you want to apply the font family to whole content, you can use it simple way by adding to the body. Just copy it, paste it, save it, and it will apply to the complete page. You can see my local image is showing custom font. All the things is showing in a custom page, in a custom font. So in that way, you can apply the custom font in the whole page by applying the body. If you inspect, so basically inspect is used to check the element CSS property or debug the web browser. So this is also known as dev tools to work with developers. If you see any tag, it is showing the body font family here. So body will apply the things to all the things in our web pages. Now after this, back to VS Code, and let's see some other different types of properties and their values. So close this file. So I am opening third form example. So earlier I created this form, but now let's use CSS to make it look beautiful. So back to Chrome, File Explorer. So back to File Explorer and opening the third file in browser, and you can see the page is showing like simple HTML. But now let's use CSS and make it beautiful. So using CSS, I will show lots of different types of properties in this example, so understand better way how you can, like, only understanding the things of CSS properties and value, you can't do anything because you have only. So suppose that you have all the tools, but you don't know how to use that tools. So that is nothing without using the tools. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show this practical example how you can add the CSS to this whole page, so you understand better way in practical example. So first I'm going to VS Code, and third form is ready. Changing the file type to HTML. So first I'm adding the style sheet. So I think rel equal to style sheet, href equal to CSS style for.css. Let's copy this file name and create this file name. Copy it, paste it, save it. Now let's apply CSS. Also add in the comment. So here I don't touch anything because all the things of HTML which I already done in previous tutorial. So now add some CSS to our web page. But also I will do one more thing. I'm just adding a class main form here. Copy this, and first I'm doing, I'm adding body and removing the margin and padding. Margin 0 pixel, padding 0 pixel from the body. Save it, back to Chrome. You can see here is some margin and padding is showing. If I refresh page, and you can see now it is touch. After that, adding the background color. So background color, adding dodger blue. Save it. And if you don't know how to get the color, what is the color code, you can follow this site. Let me show you. Material palette. You can visit to the site, and it will show all the material color which we can use in our website. Here you can see these beautiful colors which we can use and add in our pages. If you don't know about the color code, how you can do the color code, which color can it look beautiful and what would look beautiful in the text, you can use this website to make your, to select your color code. So what I will do, I will add the background color dodger blue. Refresh page. Now you can see the background color is added, dodger blue. So now let's move this form to the center position. So what I will do, dot main form, adding width 250 pixel or 300 pixel. Save it, refresh page. Now we need to make it in center. So how you can do this, so there are two ways. If you're working with text, you can simply add text align center. But when you want to work with complete body things or complete group of things to move with center, so there is one other way which we need to use margin left auto, margin right auto. So what I will do, first I will paste it here. So you can also apply the style sheet first here, and later you can move it the style sheet and copy to the things to our code. So this is for temporary. I just here write the code for temporary, and let's see live how the page look. And when it is done, I just move the style from here to our main page or coding page. So here just I'm selecting the, you can just use this arrow key to select the any element, like any element you can select. So I'm selecting the wall form. You can see the wall form is here. and H4 is air. So what I will do also, I will just move this H4 to the form part, so it will not go outside. Now save it, and if you check, everything is go inside the form tag, and it's showing the width to 300 pixel. So you can apply the style live from here, and when it is okay, you can just move this, copy this style, and paste in your code, and you can apply the style from here. And once it is okay, you can say it is okay, then just copy this style and paste in your code part. So what I will do, I will try to add margin left auto. You can see it moved to here, and if I try to add margin right auto, it will go to center. You can see everything is going to be center. So what I will do, I just copy this property once it is applied, so it will not get lost, because if you refresh the page, it is get lost. But I now just paste in our code, so it will not get lost. But if I write another thing like background orange, and if I refresh page, it is gone. So it will not as permanent. You just need to copy it and paste it in your code, then you can refresh the page. So here I just use this tool to make the things live and see what is actually happening in the page. Now let's do some other things. So these are things. Now let's add some form color. So I'm making form color background white. You can see it is looking better. But let's add some padding also, 10 pixel or 15 pixel. Now it is looking better. So just copy this two property and value. So copy it, paste it, save it, refresh page, and you can see still it is looking better. Now let's add some margin from top. So margin top 20 pixel or 25 pixel, or we can increase to 30 pixel. Copy it, paste it, save it, refresh page, and you can see still it's look better. Now next thing what I'm going to do, I'm just making this text to center. So text line center. So what I can do, I'll just add class equal to main title, copy it, then h4.main form title, text align center, save it. Now after that, let's some work with label. So what I'm going to do, adding display block and font size 20 pixel, 20 pixel. I think 21 is okay, or 20 is okay. 20 is okay. Then let's add some font weight bold, so it will look bold. And also, and I think that is okay. And more thing we can apply with custom font also. So just copy it. So what I will do, I will apply with all the labels. Label, paste the property value. You can see I just apply an element of the shell, and later I will apply with all the labels. Refresh page. You can see all app design is applied to the all the things. Now let's work with input. So select any input, and also it is showing the BR. So I'm going to remove the BR, because right now I don't require the BR tag. Otherwise it will look more spacious. Remove the BR, remove the BR, and remove the BR. Remove the BR, remove from here, save it, refresh page, and you can see it is looking better. Now we can add margin padding to make it little bit different. Also do one thing, adding a class form group. all the divs is separate with other div. And this br, br, also here br. Okay, it will not go to here. It is a closing tag. Save it, save it. Refresh page. Now let's add some gap between these inputs and label. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm selecting the input. Right now I'm going to add display block with 100% and margin 5 pixel, or instead of margin from 5 pixel from left right, you can use another way like margin top, left, right, all the things. So you can use first it is applied with top, so 5 pixel, then right, so right I am giving 0 pixel, then bottom 5 pixel I am giving, then left 0 pixel. So I think it is looking better. Adding the padding 10 pixel or 8 pixel, I think it is enough. Border none, or border change it to 1 pixel, which is first size, border size, then the border style. So I am giving solid, or you can use other style like dotted this way, double this way. So here what I'm solid, then changing the background color or border color, then changing the border color, then changing the border color. So I'm changing it to gray, or let's make it lighter. So if you click on it, it will show all the colors. Select any color. I'm selecting this one. Now it is looking much better from previous one. So copy it and applying with all the inputs. So here input, applied, save it, refresh page, and you can see it is applied to all the inputs. But we don't want to apply it to this inputs here. So what I'm going to do, I just add one more thing here. Class equal to form input, class equal to form input, form input, form input, save it, and also apply this to form input. Now here input dot form input, save it, refresh page. Now you can see it is applied only to the inputs, not with other. But here also add multi. And also one more thing which I left, you can apply this property value with other element also. Like there you can see I applied with input form element, input with form input, but you want to apply this same style with other element. Here you can see I have created the second one, which is form select. I want to apply these two also. So what I will do, I just copy it, and here just adding comma here, then select to format. So it will, so the designing will apply with both element. You can see this one also and this one also. Save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see the designing is going to apply to this page also, this part also. Now let's work with form group. So here we can make the difference between little bit, and also I think we need to, let's change this size 18. So I think it is looking much bigger. Now let's add the gap. So we can use the here class form group dot form group, and here adding margin bottom 10 pixel, save it. You can see the design is going to apply it in pixel. Now you can see username, password, age, date of birth, and there is a difference. So it is looking much better. Also, let's apply the design to the about you also. So class equal to for input, save it, and this time I'm just adding comma, text area dot form input, save it, refresh page. You can see the design is going to apply it with form input also, and it is looking much better right now. Also, let's make the button little bit much better from the previous one. So first I'm selecting the button, adding background red or green, display block or with 100%, border 1 pixel, solid gray, color change to white, then adding padding 10 pixel, and also do one thing, display block is not required, move it, and here adding the border a little bit round, so you can use the property border radius 10 pixel. You can see the button corner is getting round little bit. You can use the border radius, and also change the color little bit. So setting this green, or okay, I think this one is okay. So this is applied, copied, or change the color. So form button, save it, dot form button, paste it, refresh page, and you can see it is looking much better. And you can see it is looking much better, but here the form size is getting large, so I think we can collapse it or just make it in a single line. So come to form, remove this br also, and this one also this one, and also this one, save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see it comes in one line. I think it is looking much better. Also, we can do one thing here, we can just decrease the margin little bit, so our things will get much more better. 20 pixel, and apart from here 10 pixel, save it, refresh page. Now it is coming in a single part. Apart from this, you can add a shadow in form, so you can add a shadow, or also you can make the corner little bit round. So for rounding the corner, you can add the property border radius 10 pixel, or increase to 20 pixel, how much you like. I make it 15 pixel. So here border radius 15 pixel, save it, refresh page. Now border is done. Let's add some shadow. So for shadow, we have to add box shadow first, then second, then third one 3D, then in 3D all the 3 dimension size I pass. Now after that we need to pass the color for the shadow, pass gray. Let's make it little bit light. If you want to make darker, it look 3D style, I think that is okay. Yeah, that is okay. Just copy this and paste it here. You can paste it anywhere, like here or up or down, anywhere. Save it. Now the form is ready. And also let's make this simple registration form in top with touching the item. So what I can do, I just remove the margin 0 pixel from here, and also our form is taking some padding, so I will do margin minus 15 pixel, so it will remove all the padding part. Instead of this I will add margin, or instead of this we will add padding 10 pixel, or I think that is enough, 20 pixel. Background orange, 20 pixel. But here things is getting mismatch, so let me fix this also. Color white, text transform, capitalize or uppercase or capitalize. Just copy it and main title, paste it here, and also here we need to add some margin, so empty 5, margin top 5. Let's copy it. So I just giving the class name same, so we can apply from the CSS dot empty 5, margin top 5 pixel. Save it, refresh page, or 15 pixel or 20 pixel. Save it. Now I think it is looking better. So in this way, you can create a simple form with CSS. So here you can just see, first tutorial I just make it the UI part using HTML, but in this tutorial I just apply the CSS, only apply the things what is class. So I apply the class to all the elements, so we can select it and apply the style sheets. So that's why we cover the topic for class and ID selector. Mostly peoples and all the developers work with class for selecting the elements. Here what I just show you, how you can select the element using class. Now apart from this, if you want to apply the custom font, let add that also. So what I'm going to do, I'll just set this design, remove this, copy this, paste it, and after that apply this style. So just come to form, to body, paste it, save it, refresh page. Now you can see the form look much better with the custom font. So in that way you can apply CSS to any form. Now after that, let's see some other example. So after this form example, now let's move with complete CSS reference. What are the different types of properties and what are their values? So back to VS Code and getting a new file one more time. So this time giving the file name. Let me show you. So creating the file name CSS fourth and giving the web.html. Now I'm just adding the basic tags. So I'm just copying it from the second body page or the first HTML page. Copy it, close all the file, close other file, changing the template file to HTML again. Now paste it and adding the body. Now close the body, adding all CSS property with values. Example, save this file. Let's create this CSS file. So right click, first select the folder, then right click, or clicking the new. First, select the folder, create new file, style for.css. Then link this file. So link rel equal to style sheet href equal to css style for.css. Save this file. Now let's work on the CSS properties and their values. So first, let's see how you can add the background into any element. So there are different types of properties on background. So div with background color, class equal to color pg, copy this class and dot color bg, background color orange. Save it back to Chrome and run this file. And you can see there is nothing is showing. Actually the CSS is applied to the div, but there is no height for the div, so you can't see anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm just adding height 200 pixel, save it, refresh page, and now you can see the div with the color orange. So this is example for div with color orange. This is div with background color orange. Save it. Now let's see other example with bg image, div with background image. Copy it. Then dot bg image. This time adding background image, and first you need to pass the URL this way. After that, single quote and pass the image path. So our image is inside the image folder. So we are inside the CSS folder. So first we need to change the directory. So dot slash. So it will go to the parent directory. Then we are going to image directory. So first here to here parent directory. Then from here we are going to the image directory and we are selecting the image. Save it and also giving some height 100 pixel. Save it, back to Chrome, refresh page, and you can see this div with background image. And currently you can see the image is repetitive. The image is showing repeat. Let's change it to 200 height or 300 height, and you can see the image is showing with background image. Also you can pass background repetition. So background repeat, no repeat. Save it, and you can see this time it is showing single image. So it will just cover the whole area with repeated image. That's why it is used repeat. After that, there is also another property which is background. You can see there are lots of property for background. So I'm just covering the important things which is required. Background size. So there are different types of background size, which is auto, cover, content. If I try cover, save it, refresh, and you can see the image is covered to all width, but you can't see it because image is getting large. And if I try to use content, save it, you can see this is a content property. So that are all the property. So that are all the property for the background of CSS. Now let's see other properties for the CSS. Now let's see border property. So div class equal to border example, copy it, save it. This is div with border, save it, border example. And here what I am going to do, I am just adding border 1 pixel. So here one more thing I have to do. I want to show you one more thing, which is if you try to use border with 1 pixel border style, solid, border, color, orange, and wing height also, so we can see it 100 pixel. Save it, refresh page. You can see this is the border of the div. You can see one more thing I have to show. Here we can divide all this thing as 3 lines. We can also do a shorthand way. Just writing border. Then first we need to pass width, so 1 pixel. Then solid, is style. Then our color. Save it, refresh, and you can see all the things has been overwritten. You can see it is get override by other things. You can see this is get override by this. So these things combined, you can create a single way, expanded way, shortened way. So you can use any way what you like. Save this file also. So basically I use border when applying with our tables. So let me show this example with table so you can understand much more better. And also one more thing I have to show, which is border one more time example. So what I'm going to do, border example 2, border example, save it. And also I'm going to do one more thing. Here if you see all the divs are getting touched by each one. So I'm giving margin 10 pixel to all the divs. Now it is not getting touched by everyone, and also giving some padding 10 pixel. Save it. Now it is looking perfect. So in second example, let me show you what I'm going to do. Here in second example, border example 2, this time I'm just giving border top 10 pixel, solid, red. Save it, refresh page, and you can see this time border is going to apply with only top. And if you want to add border to bottom, add bottom border. And this time you can pass another style, orange. You can see red and orange. Same way you can apply border left, green, and border right with blue. Save it. You can see you can apply all the different types of border color in a single div by using their different types of properties by separating all the values. Border top, left, right, and there is one more thing for border which you can apply, which is border radius. It will curve the edges of border. Suppose that here you can see the div is perfectly square, but if you add border radius, it is getting curved. You can see now it is getting curved here and curved here also curved here also. You can see border radius 10 pixel. Here you can also pass 10 pixel, 10 pixel, and 10 pixel. So it is from top, then right, then bottom, then left. Refresh page, you can see. And if you want to add only border radius in this two corner, this one and this one, so you just need to add top, then left. Just move this to 0 pixel, 2 pixel, save it, And if you check, the border radius apply with two only here, this one and this one, not this one, not this one. So it will apply only border to this top. So in that way you can apply the border radius also in a combined way or a expanded way. So basically I apply the border to tables. So I already created a table in HTML, but I didn't add the CSS. But this time now I am going to add CSS using our style sheet. So let's open this example, which is 6 table, and you can see this table, but it is not looking much more better. So we can do it much more better using our style sheets. So let's see how we can do this. So what I am going to do, I am creating a new file, link will equal to style sheet, href equal to css table style dot css. Save it. Let's copy this file name and create this file. So table style dot css. So first what I'm going to do, first let's remove this border one. If you remove this, let me show what actually happened. If you remove this, save it, you can see there is no border right now. So everything which we are going to do from the CSS, not from the HTML property or any attributes. So what I'm going to do, first I'm using set table and giving border, or first adding width 100%, and also doing one more thing, body margin 0 pixel, padding 0 pixel. Save it, save it, refresh page. Now you can see table is extended to full width. Now next step, what I'm going to do, I'm adding border with all these element. So it contain what? It contain table, tr, th, td, everything. So I am going to do add border th, td. Only adding adder in this block of section of th and td. So border 1 pixel, solid and gray. Save it, refresh, and you can see border is get added, but it is not getting touch with each other. You can see there is a gap in everywhere. You can see the gap. So I think we can remove this. So for this border collapse, collapse, save it, refresh, and still it is not showing. I think there is one more thing which I miss. Table, save it, and now if you see, the border is getting collapsed. If I remove this, it will show a spacing in all the sections. But if I add collapse, all the border which are there space is getting touch, and it create a single types of border. Now what I am going to do, I am adding margin in the border 10 pixel, or instead of margin then add padding. Save it, or add it here, more padding. Now it is looking much better. Now after this I am giving, there is some padding with all these elements. So what I am going to do, I am just only touching th, td, padding 10 pixel, save it. I think it is looking better, but let's decrease it 8. Now it is perfect. And after that let's make it heading text aligned with left instead of center. So th text align left, save it, refresh. Now you can see all this alignment move to left. Now let's add some color in the th. So background color dodger blue, save it. Now making text color, so color white, making text color white, save it. Now it is looking better. Also let's add some custom font. So what I'm going to do, I'm using this custom font, copy it and paste it here. After that, just apply the CSS. So what I'm going to do, copy the property and apply in body. This is what I told you or show you earlier. So same thing I am just copied and paste and doing here also by applying CSS. Refresh page. Now it is looking better. Also you can add some more effect. Let me show you. But first let's make this button beautiful. So you can do one thing. Button background color orange, color white with 100%, border 1 pixel, solid gray, and that's enough. I think that is enough. I think save it, refresh. Also let's add padding. Padding 8 pixel. Save it, refresh. Now the button look also good, and I think instead of gray, make it orange. Save it, refresh, and also let's add some border radius so button look much better. Save it, refresh, and you can see the button is getting round. And if you want to add some shadow, so you can add shadow by using box shadow, which I show you earlier. 5 pixel, 5 pixel, 5 pixel, and gray. Save it, refresh, and you can see the border. You can see the shadow. Let's make it a little bit small. 3 pixel. Now it is looking perfect. So in that way you can add the CSS in table, and you can see the ugly table is looking much better from previous one. So in that way you can use this concept of styling CSS to table, and you can see I just apply all the property to of CSS to table, which I show you. So basically I use the border mainly here, and I use the background color which I show you earlier also, and also I use width and color. So color we generally apply with text, and width is we apply to increase the width of the any element. Apart from this, I also apply one more property which is box shadow to applying a shadow effect. You can see I just apply the 3D size and color for 3D sizing and color. Now after that, I already show you margin I think, but let me show you margin once again. So here I am creating a next example, div with margin and padding. Margin and padding example. So just copy it. This is div with margin and padding. Save it. Let's move this file. Close this table file. And here what I'm going to do, div with margin padding. So first I will apply margin 10 pixel. Save it. Back to Chrome. Refresh page. And you can see this is div with margin and padding. So for clear understanding, I just first add background color so we can see what actually happening, and also apply height 100 pixel. Save it, refresh, and if you see if you apply margin 10 pixel, so nothing is changed because margin 10 is already applied with all the divs. But if I apply 20 pixel, save it, and this time you can see the div is getting synced from outside. You can see it is getting synced from this outside div. If you check, this is showing margin. It is showing from outside. But if I apply padding, let me show you. Padding 20 pixel. Save it, refresh, and this time the padding is applied to inner part. If you see, there's two border which is showing. First one is orange color, which is showing as margin, and the next one it is little bit dark for padding, and the inner content is the text content. If you want to see much more clear, just select this div, move with computed tab. If you select margin, you can see the highlight area for margin. If you select padding, you can see the highlight area for padding, and you can see the content area for text. Apart from this margin padding, there is also a border. Let me show you. If I add border here, border 10 pixel, solid, orange. Save it, refresh page. Save it. Let's try to increase this 20, 30. I don't know why it is not showing. Okay. Here pixel spelling is mistake. 20 pixel. Save it. Refresh. Now if you see here in computed tab, first outer one is margin, then border, then padding. So this is also known as box model. If you get doing interview in job, the people already ask what is box model. So this is the definition for box model. The box model start with margin, then border, then padding, then the content area. You can see margin, border, padding, then content area. Margin get added from outside of the any block. Border comes from the outer area also, but it will apply with the elements for adding the border. Apart from this, you can apply padding, which is comes with the inside part of the content, not from the outside. So margin go from outside, padding go from inside, and inside that there is a text content, which is our content, actual content. Now after this, let me show some other example, which is box shadow. So just doing what? I am copying this same element, div with box shadow for shadow effect. Here, box shadow example. This is div with box shadow example. Just copy it, save it, and here first I am going to add same way height width. So height 100 pixel, background color orange, save it, refresh. This is a div with shadow example. Now let's apply box effect. So what I'm going to do, I am doing in live. So here style, first I will add box shadow, then first adding 3 pixel, then adding 3 pixel. You can see if I apply 3 pixel, 3 pixel, first it will add here, then here, and if I add 3 pixel, it will add from also here. So it will apply the 3 pixel to all the 3-dimensional window. Then adding the color. So adding a red or any color you can want to do, dark gray. You can see now it is looking perfect 3D example, like div is getting hovered. So in this way you can add the box shadow, copy it, save it. So this example for box shadow. In this way you can add the box shadow or shadow effect or 3D effect in your div using CSS. Now apart from this, I already saw example for color. So if you want to change color of any text, let me show this example. Div with color example. So color example. This is div with color example. Save it. Color example. I am changing color to orange. Just copy this design, paste it here, and making background color to something like red. Change it to white so we can see clearly. Save it, refresh, and you can see this is the deep with color example. So in this way you can apply color style, color property to change the color of any element. Apart from this, there is also one more example which I am going to show. Like here, if you see the text, it is left align, but if you want to align center or right, let me show you. So you can apply, just copy this, div with text align example, text align example, copy it. Okay, so I'm adding some paragraph tag. This is p with left text align. So class equal to left, then right, then center, center text, then right. So just copy this. First, I'm just applying everything same like earlier, but for the left dot left text align center, for right text align right, for center text align center. Okay, left here. Save it, refresh, and you can see all the example. This P with left text is aligned. This is P with center alignment, and this is back with, okay, it is right alignment. So it is right alignment example. So in this way you can use text alignment to align the text. Now let's see some other example which is opacity. So let's see how you can make the opacity and apply to any elements. So I am copying the previous div with opacity example, opacity, opacity, copy the class name, save it, and let me show you live. So first just add in the example and all the property, making the background color little bit like orange red. Save it, and now let's see what actually do opacity. So if you apply opacity, let me show you. Opacity 1, by default the element is opacity is 1, and if you try to use 0, it is get hidden. So 1 is the maximum property, 0 is the minimum property. Inside that we can use the our custom property like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 3.4, 5, 6, and you can see the element is getting opacity a little bit decrease by using 0.6, 7. So it is getting fade out or fade in effect, you can see. So basically we can use this for animation by using opacity. So here what I'm to do, opacity 0.7, save it, refresh. You can see this is div is showing with opacity 0.7. Let me add opacity 0.7, opacity example 2, and just copy it. So copy it, paste it, and example 2, adding opacity 1. Save it, refresh, and you can see opacity 0.7 and 1. I think something is missing. Okay, it is example 2. Save it. You can see 0.7 and 1. What is the difference between both when applying with opacity? Now let's see some other properties of CSS. Now let's see next example, which is display property, which is very important property of CSS. So let's see display property example. Copy this div, paste it, display property example. And here what I'm going to do, I'm creating a multiple div tag inside this div 1, div 2, div 3, div 4, div 5, and div 6. So let me show what is the display property. Refresh page, and let's add some background color with this parent. Background color red. Save it. And this is example for display property. So let me show what actually does we can do with display. So as what I told earlier when starting with the any things of div and span, block and inline elements. So all the divs are block element, all the p tags are block element. If you say here all the divs, if you select any div, if you see the property display block, it is coming from the user property, user browser property. You can say it is coming from the browser property. So browser in all the HTML text assign some default property. So by default all the divs had the property of display block. That's why it is taking full width area. Now let me show the other thing. So as I know, as you can see, all the divs are in block property. That's why it is taking full width. But if you want to add some all the divs by line, there is different way. But let me show one more thing, which is display flags. So display, there are all the properties. Display block contains flags. If you apply flags, all the divs are getting combined line by line. If you see, all the divs are taking equal area and combined line by line. You can see same way flow root, grid, inhead, initial, inline, inline block. So inline block will take only a small portion of the area instead of the full area. If you apply inline, it is taking the nothing. But if you apply inline block, it is taking the only portion which is required by the inner div. Inline flex, same way. If you apply flex, it will take full area. If you apply inline flex, it will take the only portion which is required by the div. So that is example for display property. That's why I tell the display property. If you want to group all the things in a single way, you can use display flags. Let me show you display flags. And for the child element, you can apply the flex properties also. So if you apply flags auto, all the divs get here in right side. if you applied flex 1, it is taking the full area which is required. Same way, if you apply the div flex with all the elements, let me show you. Suppose that these are all the divs and you apply flex property to all the divs. So just copy it. I am applying display flex in the parent div and in the child div flex 1. Save it, refresh, and you can see the contents get taking a group of you can see the div taking all fill up the required position. So it divide the all the contents in equal position by each div. You can see it contain all the 6 div with equal positions and equal width. That is, you can use the display flex property. This is required for display flex property. You can do anything with display flex property when want to create a group of content. So I just add first property in parent display flex, and in child I just apply the flex 1. There is also we can apply flex direction, which is column, row, initial, pivot, row, all the things, but it is not working because I already applied the things which is display flex 1. That's why it is not getting applied. Let me do one thing. I will add a p tag also here. Display flex example, and all the divs are already in display block, so not required to create a display block example. And apart from this, you can also use display inline, but I don't think it is required. You can use the span tag for inline elements. This is important things which is display flex. That's why I cover this part also. Now apart from this, let me show you one more example, which is position property, which is very important topic also for CSS. So let me create a one more time div position property. Suppose that you want to a button which is always fixed with the corner of your page. How you can do this? So you can achieve this by using a position fixed property. So class equal to position fixed example. You can see in many websites there is a button like collars in the corner of your web page, and it is always there when you move scroll or down or scroll up or down in the page, but it is there. So how you can do this? So let me show. For this you need to use CSS position property example. So first let's add this button property. So what I'm going to do, I'm just adding everything which is required for the button, all the things, green, yellow, save it, refresh. I think we don't need height, but we need padding. Save it. I don't need box shadow or border. I don't need. You can see colors button, and also you can see there is no cursor is showing. So sometimes you can add cursor also here by using cursor pointer. Save it, refresh, and you can see it is showing the pointer. There is also a different way of a pointer like progress. Save it. If you take the mouse here, it is showing as a progress. So using cursor property, you can add the all the different types of values. Customize mouse cursor using cursor property. Save it, refresh. can see cursor is showing, but now let's make it this button fixed in a fixed position. So selecting this button, first we need to apply position fixed. Now we need to assign this complete page. So this button is position is fixed. Now we need to make it a position. So this is the position for the page. It is from top. If you see, it is from top. It is from bottom. This from left, and this from right. So if you want to make the button here in bottom right side, so you need to add bottom 10 pixel. You can see it is showing bottom here. Now you want to make it right, so right 10 pixel. So in that way you can add the position property with the bottom and right position, like this is also known as position for the button. First I have the position fixed, and where I am going to fix this position of the button, I just apply bottom to 10 pixel and right to 10 pixel. So in this way you can apply this CSS position property. Now let me show some other example. Save it, and if you scroll down or scroll anything, the button is getting fixed here. This is the example for position property. Now let me show one more example, which is position absolute and relative. So suppose that I created a div position absolute and relative. So there is a div with class position relative, and there is a div class position absolute. So what is major difference between position absolute here? So relative will work, position absolute will work only with the parent relative. So what actually happened here? Let me show you again one more time. Paste it. Position absolute example. Save it. Refresh page. If you see this button, there is nothing else extra. Adding paragraph. This button is fixed inside the div. Save it. Let's copy this CSS class name and adding some property. So just copy this property, copy all this property, paste it here, save it, and you can see this button is fixed right now. Not, if you see this button is fixed here in below, but if I apply position relative, nothing else extra change, but the div is coming in top. That's why using position relative. But if you want to make this call as button fixed to this div instead of this whole area, if you see this call as button, it is fixed with complete web pages. But if you want to make this call as button fixed with your position, whether your screen size is small or larger, anything, you want to fix this button to this corner position. How you can do this? So you can use this using position absolute property. So let me show you. I think we don't need this div, just adding the button to position absolute. So position, just copy the same things, fix example, and here instead of position fix, making it absolute. Refresh page. Now if you see, this button is fixed with this div, and this button is fixed with the whole page. Don't care about the whole body area. This care only about this parent div, and this button is taking care of the whole body as a parent. That's why if you apply position fix it was taking as a parent complete body as a parent. So that is the difference between position, absolute, relative and fixed. Fixed work with the complete body, relative work with the single level. You can assign with any div to make your child element to work with the parent. Here you can see I just applied position relative, but now our child element absolute which work with parent. It is not going outside or anywhere. It is just stick with this parent div. So let me add the comments right now. So here position fix compare itself with whole body compare parent relative element instead of whole body. So that is the difference between both position properties. And here you can see one more thing. Now the button is get hidden. This button is get hidden. So sometime when you applied some position property, this situation or this scenario come. So how you can handle this situation? So if you want to make this button overlap with this parent, so this in this way you need to apply the Z index. I select this button and applying Z index. I first try to apply Z index 9 and you can see the button is get over to this div. You can use Z index by using the maximum property to make this button over to other element. So it is taking Z index to top. You can use Z index to apply the overlap elements. Here you can see I just apply Z index and the button get overlap to other element. Let me add this also. Z index 9. Z index is used to make element overlap to all the elements by applying maximum value. Save it. You can see it is coming to the top. Now let's see one more example. If you want to make the text rotate, how you can do this? So let me show you. Expand or using any button. Suppose that I'm just copying this button, paste it, rotate this button, rotate example, copy it, come to style, then rotate example, adding property rotate, and what degree you want to rotate, just pass the degree. I want to rotate 90 degree, so 90, copy, refresh, 90, refresh. I think it is not rotate. Okay, 90, 90 degree. Now you can see the button is get rotate 90 degree, and if you want to rotate more, 180 degree, and the button is get rotate upside down. So in this way you can add the rotate property to rotate anything in CSS. Rotate 90 degree. So in this way there is sometime if you want to see a website there is a horizontal button, but how you can make it? So in this way you can use this rotate property to apply the rotation of anything, and it will work, and it will work, and it will work. Now after all this, there is one more thing which we are going to add, which is a media query. Suppose that if you are working with a mobile devices, and in this scenario your web pages look ugly, how you can handle this? Suppose that if I do responsive, you can see it is looking ugly. So in this situation, we need to first work with viewport. So how you can do this? So first you need to add viewport, and also we need to change it. So first let add viewport. So you can just search viewport for mobile. Just add this viewport in your web page, save it, refresh page. Now this time if you make this responsive, if you click on this mobile icon, it will showing as the mobile view. But now you can see all the things looks ugly because we applied the display, we didn't apply the media query. So media query we can apply to make the page responsive, so it will look much better in mobile device also. So suppose that here the div, it is looking it is looking ugly in mobile devices. So how you can handle this situation? So for this you need to add media query. So how you can add media query? Let me show you how you can add media query. So suppose that our device is getting collapse or looking ugly when we changing the screen size to, if you see if you see this size, it is okay, like 443, it is okay, or like 480 pixel, yeah, that is okay. But we can decrease this size, it is looking ugly. If you see this size, it is looking ugly. So what I am going to do, I will apply media query. Also you can see this colors button, it is again fixed to our page. Still if you are doing anything, this button is getting fixed. That is the example for the position absolute, it will always fix to our div. It is not going nothing or nowhere from this div. But if you see this content, it is going outside. So how you can make this div content look much better? So for this what I am going to do, I will add media query. So in media query, what I'm going to do, I will make this all this div horizontal. I will make all this div as a vertical. Currently it is in horizontal. I will make it as a one line, one line, one line. So it look much better. So for adding media query, let me show you media query example. Let me show a simple example. So it will first start with add the rate media screen media, then passing screen and passing the and min width. So this style will apply when our minimum width is 480 pixel. What I see. If the style is less than 40 pixel, so this will get executed. So this is a syntax for adding the at the rate screen and minimum width 480 pixel. So when our, let me add, this style get executed when screen size less than 480 pixel. This time what I am to do, I'm just making it is a horizontal. So this one is a div display flex property, copy it and display flex, and inside the you can see I just added a nested styling property for media query. You can see first I added this media query, and inside this I just add the class, this time display and block. Save it, Chrome, refresh page. If you see here, 480 pixel. Okay, I think it is getting okay, it is getting ugly. I think it will apply to max width, refresh. If I go, and now it is working. So there's two types of property. Max is working when our screen get small and shrinked. If you shrink it, it is applied with max width, and if you want to make it executed after the some pixel, like if you want to add some property like suppose that I want to add a border on this color example when our screen width is something like more than 500 pixel. So in this situation, let me show you this div, and I will add some more thing. So this style get executed when screen size more than more than 500 pixel. So min width 500 pixel, and just copy this style, copy it, copy this class name, paste it, and here this time border just pixel solid and black. Save it, refresh, and you can see there is nothing border applied. But when we see, but when we increase the screen size, let me show. If I move with 500 pixel, okay, here is a div. You can see the border is getting applied. If I less 500 pixel, you can see if I go less than 500 pixel, the border is removed. If I increase, the style is getting applied. So in this way, you can work with the responsive website and apply the different types of style sheets in your web pages. That is all about the CSS properties. So that's all enough for the CSS property. That is what I am going to cover today. So I cover all the things about CSS in this topic. I cover everything from beginning. So I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching. Please like our video and please subscribe our channel. And also if you have any question, please do comment.